Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. It is BookList Thursday today. BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, recommendations, book ideas, something bookish related. So before I jump into today's topic, I just want to introduce you to our new little family pet. Oh geez. His name is Stormy. He is super feisty and super playful, and we just love him to death. He has been with us for a couple of weeks now, 2 weeks I think, and the kids absolutely adore him. Our other cat, she's come a long way. She tolerates him really right now, but he is so like very classic kitten right now, so I think as he kind of calms down that they'll have a much better relationship, hopefully, because I kind of brought him into the house for her because she was getting a little bored. His favorite spot to sleep though is right here. Like he's already looking at it. He's like, that's my spot. He loves sleeping on my books, so I'm hoping he's my little like reading companion, you know, when he calms down. So you might see him as a cameo in some of the upcoming videos, but the kids love him. We love him. He's hilarious. He's super fun. So that's Stormy. So now we just have the two cats. I would love a dog eventually, but we're not home a lot, so we're gonna just stay with cats for now. Anyways, let's get into today's topic. So today we are talking about different ways to pick your TBR. There are a variety of methods out there, whether you want to pick a TBR or not. So we thought, today we would go over 5 different ways or 5 different ideas that we have for you guys to help you pick a TBR. Now it could be a monthly, it could be a yearly, whatever you want it to be, but here are some of the methods that I've used. See, he already stole my charger. Yeah. Okay, so here's some methods that I have used in the past or are using currently. So right now, I'm kind of in the process of moving. Most of you guys probably already know that and have seen some of my videos, but we are weeks away from our new house, and so I don't have a ton of spare time right now to be picking up a lot of books. But I still do, because reading to me is my escape. It is my relaxation. It's what is good for me mentally. So it's something that I will never stop doing completely, but I've definitely slowed down because we're just a little busy. So right now, my TBR tends to consist mostly of my must-read books. So I have my book club books on there. Any review books that I have to get to are on there. We'll talk about that a little later, as well as any buddy reads I've committed to for the month. So those are like my bottom line, have to get these books read, and that's kind of all I've been able to keep up with lately is just my must reads, which is kind of sad because I don't have a whole lot of time for my second thought of how to pick your TBR. Is just a complete mood TBR. What are you in the mood for this month? Are you in the mood for a specific genre? Maybe you could go to that genre and pick up those types of books. Are you in the mood for a specific, I guess, trope, or are you just read whatever you feel like reading, which sometimes requires not having a TBR at all, and you just go to your shelf and you pick whatever you want to pick up. When I mood read, I tend to pick up more than one book at a time when I do that, because I usually more than one book will catch my eye, so then I'll pick up both of them and read them tandemly. That tends to happen when I'm being more of a mood reader. The third way that you can do a TBR is pretty popular within the booktube community, is you create a TBR jar. So all of the books that you own, or even you could add in library books or books you're interested in, you write them on a little piece of paper, you fold it up and you put it in a jar, you shake it up and you pick however many books out of that jar that you want to read. Within a month or a week or whatever set time period you're giving yourself, and you do it that way. That's a really great way to pick up and grab books that maybe you wouldn't necessarily go to, maybe books you were a little nervous to read if you randomly pull it out of your TBR jar. If you're like me, I tend to be a rule follower, so if I pull it out, I'd like have to read it in my mind. But that's definitely a way you could do it. You could also take this kind of suggestion a number of different ways and create some sort of game out of it. There's some really fun booktubers out there that do a number of different games to pick their TBR, whether it's a wheel or a game board or whatever that might be. So you could do something that you know, makes it a little more fun, a little more random. Speaking of random, I have option number 4, which I've also done this before, is doing some sort of random number generator. So I labeled, or I counted how many shelves I had, which I think at the time was 12. Like, this would be a shelf, this would be a shelf. I figured out how many books I had on each shelf, and so I would random number generate what shelf to go to, and then random number generate what book to pick up, count that many books down the shelf, and that's the book I would read. Again, a really great way to get at your backlist, to really start chipping away at that TBR pile that you have, as well as you might, again, get, now he's playing with the chair, as well, look at him, as well as you might, you know, be given a book that you haven't wanted to pick up lately, you know, something a little different. That was really, really fun. I really did like doing that, and I should do that a little bit more often. My last idea for how to pick a really great TBR is have a guest to do it. I've had my kids pick out books for me. I've asked my husband to pick out books for me. He didn't really rise to the challenge. Or I've maybe relied on ideas from a book club that you go to if you talk about other books and write down what they are. Maybe that becomes your TBR for the next time. Have a friend pick a book that they think you might like to read. So we actually had you guys pick a TBR list for us. I think this was the end of last year. We had you suggest books that we thought we would give 5 stars to and create a TBR from that as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can have someone else help you pick your TBR list as well. Or you just don't have a TBR. That works too. But that kind of goes back to my mood reading. Just pick up what you want to pick up. Whatever method you use, that's awesome. The other thing is I like a lot of variety as well, so I tend to kind of change up how I'm picking my TBR from month to month or time to time. Right now I'm kind of stuck with just my must-reads at the moment, but change it up and see what works for you and have a little fun with it. Just as long as you keep reading, keep picking up those books, and sharing it with everyone else, I think you're good to go. So if you have any other ideas for how to pick a TBR list, leave them below. I would love to chat with you about it. And make sure you head over to Sarah's channel over at Sarah's Nightstand. I'll leave a link below. Check out some ideas that she has for how you can pick your TBR list as well. Otherwise, like, subscribe, you know all of the fun stuff, and I'll see you next week. Have a good day. Bye.